This week, the US President Donald Trump officially announced he'll run for a second term. One Republican's pledged to challenge him for the 2020 nomination, and currently 23 Democrats are vying for their party's candidacy. The president's campaign already has a familiar ring. Trump's pitch for re-election is a rejig of his 2016 slogan. It's now "Keep America Great."
We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again.
In an unusual move, President Trump has allowed an American network open access to the White House. The exclusive was with ABC journalist George Stephanopoulos, who spent 30 hours interviewing the president.
If somebody called from a country, Norway, we have information on your opponent. Oh, I think I'd want to hear it.
You want that kind of interference in our elections?
It's not an interference. They have information. I think I'd take it.
Someone else who's closely following the Trump presidency is author Michael Wolff. His White House expose, Fire and Fury, sold almost 2 million copies in its first 3 weeks of release. He's now published a sequel, Siege, Trump Under Fire, looking at the second year of the Trump administration. Michael Wolff, thanks for being with us there in London on your book tour. Donald Trump has announced his intention to run for president again in 2020. From what you've seen about how the Trump administration's functioning in your book research, how do you rate his chances?
Well, I've primarily seen that the Trump administration doesn't function, certainly doesn't function very well. So I'd rate his chances as low, if not nil. I think it's a really uphill battle for Trump. Here's a person who is really not interested in campaigning, doesn't understand the nature of campaigns, doesn't really have anybody to run his campaign. And on top of that, his numbers have not appreciably increased since he got into office. So I would, if I were a betting man, I'd say bet against that.
You write in Siege that it's an emotional state, not a political state, at the heart of this book. What does that mean?
Well, I don't really think that Trump is interested in politics. I don't think he's interested in policy. I think he's interested in attention. He's interested in rousing the crowd, rousing the beast. And for that matter, the people around him have to deal not so much with policies and politics, but with Trump's emotions in any given moment.
But for all of Trump's extensively documented erratic, narcissistic and incomprehensible behaviour, including in your work, and for all of the lying and exaggeration and insults that we can read pretty much daily on his Twitter feed, he still has a 42% approval rating in the US, according to the aggregate of the opinion polls. And a lot of the factors you outline were in place at the time of the last election as well. So why does none of that ever seem to particularly matter?
First thing, that's a very, very exceptionally low approval rating, unmatched by any post-war president. He has not expanded his base, by one person beyond the base that got him elected in the first time around. And although he was elected president, he lost by 3 million votes. Yes, he was elected. Yes, he managed to thread the needle, the Electoral College needle. In part, he was able to do that because he had a visionary running his campaign, Steve Bannon. Right now, he doesn't have that. As a matter of fact, it's an incredibly weak field of people running his campaign. And again, he is himself more in a position. He is the man running things. It is a one-man show.
In your book, you write of the Mueller investigation into the Trump campaign's alleged ties to Russia, and you reveal that around March 2018, Mueller's team was contemplating an indictment of the president and that there was a draft indictment. Before I ask you in detail about that, Mueller's office has said that no such draft indictment exists. What do you say to that?
But that's actually not what they said. They said the documents as described do not exist. So I would call that a non-denial denial. And I have the documents. I mean, I have a 56-page document in which an indictment is laid out in excruciatingly detailed terms. And the other part of the document is an argument about why the president, why a sitting president can in fact be indicted. Now, clearly they did not indict the president, and they decided that they, or at least according to Robert Mueller, that they could not indict the president. But obviously they had to have had this kind of discussion, this kind of internal debate. So what I've provided is a window, really the first window into what I assume will be many windows to come into what went on in the special counsel's office for 2 years.
And ultimately, why did they decide to not proceed with that indictment?
I would theorize, and I don't know, I mean, nobody really knows what happened inside the special counsel's office, but I think Donald Trump spooked the special prosecutor. I think Robert Mueller saw Donald Trump as a man in the suicide vest. And if confronted, if pushed into a corner, he would provoke the mother of all constitutional crisis and really imperil the American justice system. And I think Robert Mueller, at the end of the day, said Donald Trump will pass, and let's let him pass with as little damage as possible.
Michael Wolff, many thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.